Today, we got Mikey on our accounts, guys, and he's bringing the pizza, or maybe he's actually not. But in today's video, I want to talk about the best builds for Michelangelo. I want to talk about relics. I want to talk about blessings. I want to talk about masteries. All of that stuff that is relevant. I want to talk about builds for pretty much early game, mid game, and end game. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of different examples. If you enjoy the content, do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. 7 more days, and we're going to be able to get his perfect soul 2 stars. Then we're going to move on to the second phase, which will allow us probably in around 3 to 4 weeks from now, 3 weeks if I'm not mistaken, to basically get the 5-star soul for the champion, which is going to be a huge upgrade for him, because you can run him with different blessings that might basically enable you to have a better progression in game. It might enable you to defeat different content that you were not able to defeat because maybe you were lacking brimstone, right? So we're going to talk about all that as well. Feel free to collect him today if you want to. You have the CVC going on with personal rewards. You're going to cash in some points from that. If you want to wait for a champion chase tournament, know that it's going to be almost 2 weeks away. Not this Friday, next Friday. Maybe. It's not even guaranteed that that will happen. So, up to you if you guys want to delay everything so much just to get a few 100 points in a champion chase tournament. That being said, let's quickly talk a bit about the champion. So, Michelangelo, where are you hiding? Let's start with the other build first, because this is a bit more advanced, okay? So let's bring in the progression build. Like this, we can actually talk about this. I'm even going to try him in a Hydra run, because why not? Basically, what are the best gear sets to run on this champion? So regardless where you are in the game, early game, mid game, end game, you want to give him a Savage set. If you do not have Savage, Lethal will get the job done. Most likely, if you are early game progression, you're not going to have a lethal set available, because that does come, of course, from the Doom Tower. Why the heck I cannot see it? There we go. I was blind for a second. You're going to have to farm the Doom Tower, the Dark Fate, to get a lot of good pieces from this set. Pretty hard to get a good set out of it. It's more likely for you to have Savage available on your account. Next to it, you can go either with a perception set to basically get a bit of extra accuracy. That will be really nice, because the champion does require accuracy. Or you can go, if you want to, with some pinpoint accessories, pinpoint, and of course using the perception, because why not? You might have that available too. And pinpoint is a huge set, because it gives you accuracy and speed just by equipping 2 different accessories. I don't even have the perfect accessories on him, right? Because I might not have one available with attack percentage. But as long as I can get some attack to glyph the attack and all that stuff to kind of like get me to a decent build, I'm happy with that, right? Talking about another option instead of perception, you can run a cruel set if you have that available. Why not? That will enable you to ignore even more defense and have some more attack from here. You might have some good pieces from this set because you're getting it from the clan boss. You can run as well, if you want to, a different set, for example, like, what is it? Instinct set. Speed and ignore defense. Not the best. Out of the class is the weakest. Savage, Lethal being the top ones. But hey, you might not have those ones, but maybe you got a battle pass, the Forge pass at some point, and maybe you got some good pieces. So you're aiming at getting full crit rate, you're aiming at getting as much attack, crit damage, and decent amount of accuracy and speed. He will deal pretty good damage. If you guys watched the previous video that I've done on the champion, you probably noticed that he can actually have some very nasty hits in there. Now, the whole idea is that he does require some accuracy to an extent, okay? Because with the A1, he's going to self-buff with increased attack, which is great. But this skill will ignore a lot of the target's resistance, which means that you don't have to go with insane accuracy on your champion, okay? Attacks an enemy before attacking, has a chance of placing defense down. Now, that does require more or less full accuracy. The second part of the skill and the third will require less, because if the attack is critical, you're going to ignore 25% of the target's resistance. Which means that if you're going versus an opponent that has, let's just say 100 resistance, you're not really going to need like 80 accuracy, 100 accuracy. You're going to need 25% less than that. So that means that you can build him much better. So, for example, I have an accuracy banner on him. We could easily drop this for an attack one instead because, hey, I have plenty of accuracy on him already. And this should be kind of like the sweet spot that will enable you to do pretty much all of the early mid-game content with this amount of accuracy, including the Hydra clan boss, to be honest. Yes, I'm not talking about Nightmare, Hydra clan boss, or even Brutal, because you will need more accuracy in there, but you're kind of like aiming for this. And like this, we managed to get 4.9k attack, higher attack. Crit damage is a bit on the low side, but that is still fine. Now, when we are talking about blessings, we're going to talk about relics at the end, guys. You will get that 5-star soul. Now, there are only two options viable for this champion. Depending on where you are in the game and depending if you think that you might need the brimstone to basically defeat something in particular or to up your damage versus specific content, and you think your build is just not that powerful, brimstone will be the best option, okay? And I'm talking about a 5-star blessing because that's what we're going to get all of us for free. So brimstone will be really good because at 5 stars, you have a 60% chance to land it unprotected, which will enable you to do a lot of damage. If you are going to get a 6-star blessing on him by any chance, Crushing Rend is going to be the GOAT, or Brimstone, right? But we're talking about a 5-star. So if you don't want to go with Brimstone, the next blessing, or the best in slot, will be Nature's Wrath. He will debuff a lot, which means that he's going to increase his damage by quite a bit. And that is a very, very good blessing for him. Probably that's what I'll be running on my champion once I'm going to get a soul for him, right? I don't need another champion with Brimstone, so Nature's Wrath is going to provide me more value. If your main purpose is to run him in the Hydra clan boss, you want to run Nature's Wrath over Brimstone, because Brimstone sucks in the Hydra clan boss, is really not going to be very helpful, and that will significantly reduce your damage if you're not using Nature's Wrath. So Nature's Wrath is going to be the best in slot for a 5-star soul on Michelangelo. Talking about masteries, you have a couple of different options in here. If you have full crit rate, you don't need to go with Deadly Precision. You can go with Blade Disciple. But the main idea is you want to go all the way down to Helm Smasher. You want to make sure you're getting Life Drinker so he gets to self-heal a bit. You want to get Cycle of Violence because he will put in quite a bit of damage versus some opponents. And then, talking about the support tree, either you go with this tree, as I went right here, and you gain some more accuracy. Either you come on Pinpoint Accuracy, you come to Shield Bearer, which will increase the value of the shield he can proc from the passive. And then make your way down all the way to Master Hexer, and like this you're going to have a chance to increase the duration of debuffs on the target. Or you can go on Cycle of Magic instead of Lord of Steel and come down to Lasting Gifts, which will have a chance to increase the duration of buffs, like the increased attack, for example. Now he will gain the taunt, he will gain the shield, and the shield can have its duration increased too. The taunt, if I remember it correctly, it cannot. So this is pretty much the example of a very good early game, mid game progression build, because I know you guys want to see that too. If we are talking about relics, once again, you have two very, very good options, okay? Yes, Scroll of the Unseen is good if you have a Veil champion to veil him in your fights. But without that, it's not really going to be that great. So you're going to have to rely on relics like the Irati Coronet. This is going to be the best in slot as an epic relic, because this will do pretty much the same thing that your blessing will do, like Nature's Wrath. It will increase the damage the more debuffs you're landing, and he is the perfect candidate for this relic. Or of course, if you don't necessarily have that one available, you can go with a Malefic Talon if you have one available, but I would assume the majority of you guys will have the epic relics, because let's be honest, that's all that we're getting more or less, rares or epics. A Cat's Gaze can be nice, truth be told, I would not waste my freaking Stardust to move the Cat's Caves over to Michelangelo and then back to a different character. So because of it, I really think that the best in slot is going to be the Irati Coronet, because that's just gonna get the job done. There are a bunch of different rare ones and some epic ones from all type of different events, but they're really not that great for damage. Let me just actually quickly throw in a Hydra team with him, I guess, and just do a quick run. And then we're going to talk about a more endgame build, because while you're progressing, you're not going to have access to the Cursiri. Let's be honest. Early game, mid game, you're going to struggle to build a lot of teams to progress in this content. So, it's no point to talk about Merciless gear yet. But we're going to move on to the endgame part in just a second. So we're going to head on to the Hydra clan boss. We're going to go on hard difficulty. We're going to drop you out. We're going to drop you. I will keep a Duchess for the Veil, because I don't have any other epics built for it that can get the job done. We're going to bring in Mikey. We're going to put her right there. I don't need a champion to provoke. I do not think that my V6 has gear, though. But you know what? We're going to check it. I really don't think she has it. Okay, she might do. Even if she's missing something. Then I need basically a champion like Mad Hatter. Let's bring in a Mad Hatter. We're going to get a Hex. We're going to get a bit of a cleanse, some Thermeter, Weaken, right? Which is actually really helpful. He does bring the Weaken, if I remember it correctly. Yep. Then block buffs. Ugo can work pretty nice. And we're going to have more defense down. Now, why is that important? Mikey is going to basically apply defense down on one target, and then he's going to spread all of the debuffs from that target. The thing is, you have a Spirit Affinity, and you have a Magic Affinity. They can weak hit versus their strong affinities. Like this, you're going to cover yourself to more or less have that defense down consistently, even if one of them will get resisted. Anyway, Mikey will spread it. But the whole idea is to have a good block buff champion that we can run in the team. So we have the Provoke, we have the Veil, a bit of healing in there, support, we have block buffs, we have defense down, we have Weaken, we have Hex, and I kind of need to bring in another damage dealer. And I never really tried this champion in here, so I guess I could go in with... Should we try her in the team? Or we shouldn't? Maybe I'm not gonna bring her in. I'm so tempted to bring her in though. Morag. Let me check if I have the gear on. I have gear on. So let's bring Morag in. I was just saying the other day, I never really tried her in the Hydra, and I was like, I want to try her in the Hydra, so why not? Let's just go in and do a run, basically. We're gonna watch it a bit, then I'm gonna do a full battle, right? So the good thing is that Mikey will spread those debuffs. Is actually a huge thing. If I would have like a better epic champion that will allow me to basically put in a lot of debuffs on one single target and then him to spread them, that would be great. Okay, so I'm seeing that I'm getting resisted on my V6, which means that I'm definitely missing some gear. So I'm quickly going to check what that might be, because... Oh, I'm not. It was just a 3% chance. Okay, I'm going to put it on manual just to make sure I'm getting that Provoke, because that was a bit weird. So you're getting the debuffs. You're getting that on. Provoke. Okay, no resisted this time around. We can land the Hex, the Weaken, and then we can let Mikey and Morag go ham, basically, right? They're not gonna break this Hydra run or anything like that, because, hey, I don't think Morag is gonna be that great in here, but I still want to see the damage. And what I like about Mikey is the survivability that he has from the passive, which I think is really good. Now, I would bring in another turtle in the fight, but I do not have any of them at the moment, because I'm not on the test server. I'm on the main account, and the fusion is not done yet. We haven't had all of the events. But even like this, it will work pretty well. Now, one problem that you can have if you're building a similar team with mine and you don't have a better Mischief target is that you're going to struggle with a Mischief targeting Michelangelo, because he's going to gain that shield from the passive. He's going to gain that increased attack more often than the other champions will have it from Duchess, which will overall cause you some issues. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind, which is overall pretty important. Now, I do not have a crazy build on him or anything like that. I'm not expecting to do hundreds and hundreds of millions of damage with this team, because I literally just chucked in more or less some random champions that kind of like do counter the boss's mechanics, okay? But really nothing insane. You've seen the build on Mike. He's really a progression build to kind of like help you guys understand what you do need to prioritize on him. But we're going to talk about endgame builds in a second as well. So let's quickly see what damage we are getting from him. Maybe Morag is not a very good idea in the Hydra clan boss, guys, because she feels really underwhelming. And this 2x speed is just awful. Okay, is awful. We need 3x, 4x speed for these fights. Like, I'm playing a bunch of other games, guys. They all have 3x, 4x speed in this trashy content that takes so long and is amazing. Playing this game, I feel like I'm on slow motion, literally, when I'm seeing the characters moving and how slow everything is. But Mikey's still putting in some decent hits. I'm actually quickly going to regroup, and I'm going to do a full quick battle. I just want to see what happens. So, something went wrong somewhere. That's fine. Probably just with the provoke and everything else. But we got 72 million damage. I think is decent. Like, considering that I just threw in some random champions, that's fine with me. Mikey, 15 million damage. Morak, 33, but she does have a 6-star crushing run, which is a huge advantage for her. And Mad Hatter soaked in a lot of damage because of the hacks. But Mikey, without a blessing, let's just say he did decent. He will provide more debuffs and support as well. I mean, support. More debuffs and debuff spread. It's not really support, that one, right? But he is going to get the job done progression-wise. Now, if we are talking about endgame, guys, you're going to want to prioritize, of course, slightly different gear. Blessings, relics, masteries is the exact same thing. I'm not going to talk about those again. I want to talk about the actual build, okay? And we are looking at something a bit more different. Now, the stats are still not crazy on him, to be honest, at the moment. But the whole idea is you want to go for a 6-piece Merciless that will ignore more defense. It's going to be better overall. If you can get Perception, Cruel is going to be much better. A Zeal set, for example, if you have that available, that's going to be much better too. Let me just see what the heck is it right here. So instead of Perception, you can go Zeal Merciless. You can go Killstroke Merciless. You can go Cruel Merciless. If you don't have Merciless in the endgame, you might be doing something wrong. But either way, Savage Lethal will be the next best options. Just you're looking at getting much higher stats because you're going to be able to ascend the gear, to put in a lot of glyphs. Once you're going to get a 5-star soul, you're going to get the attack, you're going to get the crit damage, you're going to gain more accuracy on the champion, which will make your life much easier. Now, I did not beefed up the stats on the champion right now by glyphing him and ascending every single piece of gear because you guys know the drill. Like, I don't have to show you the champion with 8k attack because it's the same shit more or less. 8k, 6k, you guys still understand what you need to prioritize, right? That's the main point of the video, as I've mentioned, not showcasing his capabilities because I've already done that on the previous video. So, as much attack as possible, as much crit damage as possible, full crit rate, good amount of accuracy. You really do not need more than 300 maximum for pretty much all of the content in the game. And then you want to have as much speed as possible too. Of course, making sure that the debuffer will get to move in front of Michelangelo so he can spread all of the debuffs to the rest of the enemies. That's pretty much it. Like, there isn't much else to tell you about it. But I do want to quickly touch down on another topic. Is he worth booking? Right? It's 4 books right here. I still need to put 1 more in him. 3 here and 3 here. These books will reduce the cooldowns of the skills and they will increase the chance to land the debuffs. Unfortunately, they are crucial for him to have a good performance. The whole idea is that without the books, he's not going to land the debuffs as consistently, and he's not going to rotate his skills fast enough either. So that will be a big problem. You will have to invest books in him if you want to gain real value. If you don't really want to prioritize in using him in a lot of content, you don't have to put in the books, okay? But that was pretty much everything for this video, guys. I just wanted to basically touch down on this topic. I know a lot of us got a champion today, and you might be wondering, how should I build him? What mastery should I get? Relics, etc. If you enjoyed the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in something like over a week, because I'll be going away. I do have a lot of videos prepared and stuff, but I won't be keeping you up to date with most of the things that are happening. Much love, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.